Hi everybody, this is Andy. I'm one of the PCSMs here in region 41, and what I'm going to be doing right now is going over the 3 swabs that we're going to be doing. The nasopharyngeal, the mid-turbinate, and the AnteroNasal. So we're going to be doing 3 swabs, 1 nostril. This should be interesting. I have a collection of swabs. I also have my specimen tube, and you'll just have to use your imagination with my Ziploc bag that is actually the collection bag that would have had the voucher on the outside part. So let's do this. So the first one I'm going to do today is going to be the nasopharyngeal. That is the swab that goes into the back of the pharynx, and this is going to be interesting. It's the most difficult one, and it's got the most involved, so I've done it twice so far. I guarantee my eye will water. So the first thing we want to do, like if I were instructing a patient, is have that patient blow their nose. And this is the only one with the nose blowing, so pretend. Next thing we will get is our swab. So this swab is roughly 6 inches long, and it tells you right there, it says peel down. You'll just have to trust me with the focusing. Right now I'm doing this all by myself. We're gonna have to open this up by the handle end. Oh, give me 2. Awesome. So you can see that right there. All right. So for the nasopharyngeal, you want to instruct the patient to tilt their head back. It's roughly 70 degrees. So we're just gonna, it's a pretty good ways back. Just keep that in mind. I'm instructing myself. I gotta make sure I line up with the camera. All right. So I'm gonna tilt my head back a good bit. You keep the swab roughly parallel to the ground. We're gonna go in. Parallel, we go in until we've encountered resistance. At that point, you want to raise your hand a little bit and keep going until you can't go anymore. All right, I feel like I'm at the back. You give 2 turns, and you remove. My eyes watering. So what they would do now with their test tube is remove the lid, which I had loosened it up previously. Those are on there pretty tight. You place that in there, break the handle off, make sure it's far enough down that you can get the lid back on. If it was up too high, you might have to pull it all a bit and re-break. You would instruct them to put the lid back on. Place this in the bag. I would have the voucher on the outside of the bag, and we would be good to go. That's anterior nasal. Goes way back there. Next swab we're going to do is called mid-turbinate. Right. So this has a different swab. We always open up from the, it says peel here. We open it from that end. We'll pull it out from the handle. We don't ever want to touch the business end. I know it's a little blurry, but you can see the wide collar area. That's how far they're going to have it in there. And then up here close to the handle, it's got almost like a little perforation or narrowing, and that's where they're going to break that off in the tube. So I'm going to go mid-turbinate. Eyes still watering. All right, you don't have to tilt the head back as far for this one. They say roughly 20%. So we're going to go even again. I generally keep, it's the same hand for the same nostril. I generally keep this like toward the midline, septum, can't say septum, middle of the nose, bottom. And you place that in there. It should just go straight back. It's in there, you see the colors in. I give 2 turns, 1, 2. This one doesn't feel awesome either. And then we would hold for 15 seconds. Let's pretend it's 15 seconds. Straight out. they gotta switch hands. Do the same thing, slide tilt back. Get it in there. So why you keep it the same hand? Somebody say this hand, the way it angles it towards the ear a little bit. It was supposed to do a little better specimen. So we're towards the midline and bottom. We're going in. We're gonna get 2 turns. Hold for 15 seconds. And remove. Both my eyes are watering now. Okay. So they've got their tube again. I mean, if they got good hands, they can do this all in one hand. All right, so their perforation, I'm gonna put it into that point. I put it in there. Sometimes it won't break if they put it in there and maybe do a little twist. That gets it real good. All right, that's on there. In the bag, pretend the voucher's on the outside pocket. They're good to go. One last swab. This is the same kind of long-handled swab that we use for the nasopharyngeal, but we're not going to utilize near as much of it, okay? This is the AnteroNasal. So this is going to go in roughly 3/4 of an inch to an inch, not very far. Same scenario, same hand, same nostril. They're going to lean back slightly. And this is more, so the lean is really more so you can see the swab. Is it in there or not? Kind of opens up the nostril a little bit to where you can see what's going on. So just a slight head tilt. We'll go in. I feel like that's pretty good. And they continuously turn for 15 seconds. Ooh. And close enough. It's out. Switch hands. So we're doing the other side. 15 seconds. Out. All right. So they would have probably had this tube sitting either in their armrest or a cup holder, just something convenient for them. And they would have loosened this lid up, because man, these lids are tough when you first do it. Okay. So we put our swab in. I'm getting kind of full. I've got a lot of swabs going on here. Let's just pretend it's in there pretty far. These are wooden. They break pretty easily. And some of these plasticky ones, man, they're tricky. So you got to really coach people with that. All right. So AnteroNasal, definitely the easiest one. Not a lot of people have issues with that. But let's say they sneeze or something and it comes out. You pull our hand out. We got to get it back in. We got to get our full 15 seconds. They got to start twirling again. We got to time them again on that. Or mid-turbinate, same scenario. Let's say it touches their leg or something. Let's use your best judgment. If it looks dirty, we got to start all over with the new swab or something. But you know, if it looks like it didn't really touch too much anything, we got to get it back. We got to get a good sample. That's the key with this, is getting the good sample. If you get a bad sample, then you're a lot more likely to get a false negative. So then they're positive, and you know this is easily spread. You can be asymptomatic a lot of the time even, and then you're hanging out with your grandma or somebody with diabetes or somebody smokes, asthma, COPD. It's a lot of it. A lot of people have it. You don't realize it until you start looking when you're checking scripts how many people are on inhalers and have all these issues. And I know you know there's a lot of diabetes. You got to think about these pre-existing conditions. And as you get older, and if you're in your 70s or 80s, COVID can be really tough on you, even if you're pretty healthy. So I want everybody to keep that in mind. So we got to get a good sample. And by using the proper technique, that's how you get the good sample and you get the good results. All right?